Hello, students. I am going to read to you today the test that you are taking over the landlady. So you should first read the landlady, and then you'll be ready to take this test. You can start and stop the test at any time for the questions. So question 1, why does Billy Weaver walk briskly down the street at the beginning of the story? Is it because A, he wants to impress his boss, B, he wants to act like a successful businessman, or C, he wants to get to the pub before it closes? Question 2, what made the boarding house seem good and inviting at the beginning when he looked in the window? Is it A, it was modern and clean looking with black and white furniture, B, it was big and there were lots of people milling around, or C, there was a dog curled up by the fire? Question 3, what seemed to be the reason Billy has come to this town? Is it A, he will be starting a new job there, B, he is looking to meet an old friend, or C, he is going into the hotel business? Question 4, when the landlady opens the door to Billy, he thinks, this dame was like a jack-in-the-box. He pressed the bell and out she popped. What is he trying to show by using this simile? Is it A, she opened the door and it made him think about his childhood and the fun he had back then? B, she opened the door so quickly it was startling? Or C, she was a fun person? Question 5, what was one reason he should have known that this was too good to be true? Is it A, it was the end of a street, B, it was fantastically cheap, it was less than half of what he had been willing to pay, or C, the landlady was nice to him? Question 6, in the following quote, what might the reader infer from the use of the word nest? The landlady said, you see, it isn't very often I have the pleasure of taking a visitor into my little nest. The word nest seems to imply that Billy is, well, very welcome here, or prey, and she is the predator, or supposed to excuse the mess. Question 7, this one is matching. Match each element of the plot with the quote on the left. So if I'm looking down at the bottom, here are going to be my choices each time. Exposition, and the exposition would include the setting and the background in the beginning. Rising action, which would include events in the middle. The climax, which is big and exciting part near the end. Or the resolution, how it ended up. So these are in order. So effectively, you are putting the events in order. Here we go. A, not in the least, she said. I stuff all my little pets when they pass away. Will you have another cup of tea? Letter B, I'm almost positive I've heard those names before somewhere. Isn't that queer? Maybe it was in the newspapers. They weren't famous in any way, were they? Letter C, Billy Weaver had traveled down from London on the slow afternoon train, with a change at Swindon on the way, and by the time he got to Bath, it was about 9 o'clock in the evening, and the moon was coming up out of the clear starry sky over the houses opposite the station entrance. Letter D, Billy will most likely be her next victim. Okay, question 8. Why did the names of the other guests, Christopher Mulholland and Gregory Temple, seem familiar to Billy? A, they had gone to school with him. B, they were in the newspapers for having disappeared. C, they were famous sports figures. Question 9. What does Billy have in common with Christopher Mulholland and Gregory Temple? A, they were all tall and handsome. B, they were all hard workers. C, they were all in need of a job. Or D, they were all rich.
Coach Aldridge, please send that manager back up. Thank you.
Question 10. What becomes obvious to the reader from the following sentence? Left, she said, arching her brows. But my dear boy, he had never left. He's still here. Mr. Temple is also here. They're on the 4th floor, both of them together. A, the landlady had killed and stuffed them. B, no one ever wants to leave her warm home. Or C, the landlady hallucinates. Question 11. In what way is Billy completely wrong about his first assessment of the landlady in the following quote? Now, the fact that his landlady appeared to be slightly off her rocker didn't worry Billy in the least. After all, she not only was harmless, there was no question about that, but she was also quite obviously kind and generous soul. Okay, so which of these is a wrong assessment? He said she is off her rocker and she is not crazy after all. Or letter B, he says she is harmless and kind and she is a killer. Which one of those is true? Question 12. What is ironic about Billy's assessment that it is a good sign if a boarding house has animals? Letter A, the animals have nothing to do with whether this is a good place to stay. Letter B, the animals in the boarding house are actually dead. Letter C, Billy owns pets. Question 13. Which of these sentences is a good example of foreshadowing? Letter A, the door swung open and a woman was standing there. Letter B, she had a round pink face and very gentle blue eyes. Letter C, bed and breakfast. Each word was like a large black eye staring at him through the glass, holding him, compelling him. Letter D, he pressed the bell. Question 14. What seemed to be the old lady's character at the beginning of the story? A, she seemed odd, but also really kind and sweet. B, she seemed like an average businesswoman, efficient and busy. C, she was high-strung and nervous. Question 15. What is the landlady's true character as revealed by the end of the story? Letter A, quirky, old lady. B, bitter old woman. Or C, psychotic killer. Question 16. What is a possible theme for the story? A, never trust fate. B, go to a real hotel rather than trusting a bed and breakfast. Or C, things are not always as they appear at first. And the last question, question 17. What does the reader realize from the sentence, the tea tasted faintly of bitter almonds, and he didn't much care for it? A, Billy is more of a coffee drinker. B, the tea is poisoned. C, Billy does not like the old lady anymore. Okay, that's the end of the test. Do check your answers, and you can always go back and listen to any of the questions again by going back to the beginning of the video. Thank you.